What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. Hope you're all doing very well. They had an update to the Season 2 Mythic Plus Affix feedback. So Blizzard responds. This is very quick. I mean, the Mythic Plus Affixes were only out for like 1 weekend. And then Blizzard has already responded to the complaints that people have had. And this is so good. This is such great news. This is Blizzard really continuing to prove to us again and again that they are willing to jump into these topics, tackle them seriously, listen to our concerns, take in the feedback, and then come up with solutions that are going to be good for the community. So I know a lot of people that I was talking to over the last week, like, just don't want Mythic Plus Affixes, period. I've heard a lot of that, and unfortunately, guys, they're going to be in the game. So I'm going to try and take the approach here of trying to show you how these Mythic Plus Affixes that have been added in are not actually going to be that much of a problem for you and your group moving into Mythic Plus, that they're not going to be massive annoyances that, like, all they do is make you angry about having to run Mythic Plus, but rather they're an opportunity for you to step up and use your crowd control, your dispels, your mobility to help defeat, sort of make these affixes not trivial, but to make them easier by using your toolkit. And as a result, make the Mythic Plus runs easier and potentially more timeable. So let's dive right into the first one, which is going to be Afflicted. All right, so I'm going to read this for you right here. Afflicted, it says, Afflicted now has less health and has more consistent spawn behavior. The Afflicted Affix is meant to incentivize a greater focus on dispel utility while also offering players with healing spells an alternative means or solution in cases where dispel availability is more limited or where other enemies have threatening dispellable abilities. So this is really good. Basically, what they're saying here is that they want to make it so that Afflicted is mostly on the healer because they have the dispel, but if you have the extra healing or dispels available, you can do it. And if you only have a composition where your healer is the only one that can get rid of it, then this is easier for them now. So if you're running a composition that's like, I don't know, you have like a warrior tank, a hunter, a DH, a rogue, and then your healer, none of those other people can help with dispels or healing at all. It's all on the healer. And so this change, making these guys up here, these guys that are doing the Afflicted Cry right now, they're going to have less health, which means it'll be easier for those compositions that don't have any extra help. It'll be really easy for them to do what they need to do to get the Afflicted down. So this is a really good change. I think Afflicted is going to be the easiest mechanic for sure. But you can see even in this clip right here, it was all on the monk. He wanted to try it on his own. You have a priest and a paladin that can help you out here with dispels, but he wanted to try it all on his own, and you can see that he's able to heal up these two guys. This is the old school buffed health version, so Blizzard's going to be nerfing the health of these guys, making it so that, again, if you only have the healer as the only one who's able to deal with it, they're going to be able to deal with it more easily, okay? Let's move on to Incorporeal, which is probably the worst one, to be honest. Okay, let's read what Blizzard has said about Incorporeal here. Now immune to damage and has more consistent spawn behavior. This is huge. The new Incorporeal Affix plays similar role to Afflicted, but with emphasis on crowd control, so instead of dispels, right? A few things we're hoping to smooth out include both the rate at which these spawn, sometimes too many at once, and the ease with which the crowd control can be accidentally broken. So that's really, really important. So they're making it now so that Incorporeal guys are now immune to damage. So you can see on the screen here, there were multiple times during my dungeon runs where somebody would like polymorph, like the mages would polymorph these Incorporeal guys, and then they would immediately get hit by an AoE going on, and then the poly would break. So now, remember, Incorporeal mobs are susceptible to all forms of crowd control. They can get hit by anything. So this really means now that your crowd control has much, much more value than it used to, and every single class has crowd control, right? Paladin, Hodge, Blinding Light, Druid has Maim, Mighty Bash, Incap Roar, Moonkin Silence, DH has Fell Eruption, Cage, they have an AoE stun as well, can't remember what it's called right now. Evoker has Deep Breath, their Knock Up and their Knock Away, those two abilities. Hunter has Scattershot, Intimidation, Freezing Trap, Explosive Trap. Mage has Blast Wave, Dragon's Breath, Ring of Frost, Ice Nova, Poly, Mass Poly. Monk has Paralysis, Leg Sweep, Priest has Fear, and Silence if you're Shadow. Rogue has Gouge, Blind, Kidney, Cheap Shot. Shaman has Cap Totem ×2, Thunder Storm, Hex. Warlock has Banish, Shadow Fury, Howl of Terror, Warlock has intimidating, or Warrior has intimidating shout, Stormbolt, Shockwave. So what this means, of course, is that you're going to have to spec into these things during Incorporeal week. So if you don't want to do that, then I'm sorry. You're going to have to probably help your team a little bit. But they're immune to damage, which means all of your CCs will land and will land for their full duration. This is a massive deal. Really, really good deal. Now lots of DPS classes could just take care of Incorporeal all on their own. A freezing trap, and then once, that one's literally done. One freezing trap and you're done. One poly and you're done. So really, really good news there. We are discussing a change to incorporeal beings that would cause them to fade away when combat with non-incorporeal beings has ended. This is huge. In this Brackenhide Hallow, I had multiple times where we were done killing the mobs, but at the very last second, before the last mob died, we had an incorporeal spawn, and he was up for 20 seconds. That's how long they last. And so, we literally killed the last, Knoll, and then we were sitting there just kicking this incorporeal mob for 20 seconds. So they're getting rid of that as well. So big, big bonuses here to incorporeal. I think making them immune to damage is the massive one to take home here, that your CCs are all going to land for their full duration. So really, really good deal there on incorporeal. Yeah, let's go onto explosive. Okay, onto explosive. They have less health now, and they have more consistent spawn behavior. We've heard the feedback both that explosives in their new form have too much health, and that in general it makes sense to try and ignore them, thus making them a healer problem in a different way than before. So this is really key here. Explosives right now are a healer problem because 4 or 5 of them will spawn, and as a Resto Shaman, I just Frost Shock, Frost Shock, Frost Shock, Frost Shock. It's my GCDs that get taxed as a healer, okay? That's how it works right now. With the original way that you can see on screen here, they made them bigger and made too much health. So it was still a healer problem because now you can't kill them. So everybody just ignores them, and we just take the damage, and the healer has to heal it up. So it's still a healer problem. So Blizzard's trying to fix this and make it so that it isn't a healer problem. And they're basically saying, we're going to lower the health, which is really good, making sure that it's hopefully not a healer problem, so they're actually burstable. DPS can turn and burn them. They're also said that they're discussing a redesign for the explosive aspect to affix, to shift responsibility away from healers. The proposed change would cause explosives to instead shield creatures for a percentage of the explosive's remaining health when its cast completes. I'm not really sure how I feel about this. It kind of sounds like a bad idea right off the cuff. Just off the top of my head, it feels like shielding everything's kind of bad. But if they lower the health threshold enough, and honestly, they're going to have to whack this thing. This was a plus 10 key that I did. These explosives had almost 200,000 health. They need to drop that by 80%. It needs to have 20,000 health. Maybe 30,000 tops, not 200,000. So if they do that, then I hope that my team will just turn and burn the explosive before it goes off, and then it won't matter what happens when it goes off, whether it does damage or whether it gives all of the enemies a shield, which sounds way worse. Either way, if they lower the health to the right threshold, it won't matter what it does in reality because you're going to be able to burn it quick enough. But honestly, this is the most sort of tenuous affix. This is the scariest one right now because it still seems like it needs a lot of work. The health threshold needs to come down a lot, and if it shields everybody nearby for whatever health percentage is left, that's going to be really demoralizing if you get one down to 10% HP, and then it shields all nearby allies for even 1 or 3 or 4,000 health. An extra 4,000 health on all nearby mobs sounds kind of silly, so we'll see what they do with this, but they do need to have a lot of work to do on explosive for sure. Forward here, this one was basically about, I said in my video, it's about audio and visual clarity. I need to be able to see it and hear a sound cue for when it goes off, and that doesn't happen right now. So they're saying we're keeping an eye on the potency of the snare required and the required response from players to successfully snap the vine. So the first point they're saying is hey, we understand that the snare is a little bit strong. Maybe 50% is too strong. So they're probably just going to lower the slow on the snare, first of all, which is good. Second, we are looking to improve visual clarity and audio cues for the Entangling affix. This is huge. This is all this affix needs. Honestly, all it needs is an audio cue and a very obvious visual cue of when it is happening. In a dungeon like the Underrot, like you're seeing in front of you, it's very difficult to see a plant on the ground on the ground. It's virtually impossible. It's happening right now, and I can't even see it. I have no idea that entangling has happened. So just give me more visual and audio clarity, and I think this mechanic is honestly going to be good to go. No problem here whatsoever. Okay? In addition, Blizzard's got a note here about Keystone Affixes. This is really cool, and this was something that actually a bunch of people in my chat were talking about, and Asterial in particular brought this up when we were talking about it, which is that the Keystone Affixes, the speed with which you acquire new affixes is going to go way up now instead of being on the lower key level. So our proposed change would be to delay when affixes are added to keystones. This gives players more time to acclimate to the baseline dungeons before the additional mechanics come online. This is really, really good. So keystones would gain, basically at the before level 7 on a keystone, you're always going to have fortified or tyrannical. Okay. Once you hit level 7 on a key, you will get your first affix: spiteful, raging, bursting, bolstering, sanguine. Okay. So now you'll have fortified sanguine, fortified bolstering, whatever, all the way up to key level 13. So from key 2 to key 13, you're only ever going to have like fortified or tyrannical plus spiteful, raging, bursting, bolstering. That's pretty great. 13 levels with only one additional affix. Then at level 14 and up, you're going to get the second affix, and a lot of them are the new ones: Afflicted, Incorporeal, Explosive, Entangling, Storming. So very cool. This is a great decision from Blizzard. It really helps new players who want to get into Mythic Plus not feel overwhelmed when they first get into it and feel like they have a better chance of understanding the dungeons before they get to the higher keys when all the really bad affixes start kicking their butt. Okay, so really good changes from Blizzard overall. I honestly, I gotta say, guys, in summary here, that I think the changes that they're doing to the affixes are huge. I think Afflicted is going to be much easier now if you don't have a secondary source of Dispel or healing. Incorporeal is going to be much better because they're now going to be immune to damage. So all of your CCs are going to land for their full duration. Very, very good. Explosive is going to have its health dropped. We're really going to have to keep an eye on Explosive and see how good it gets, because this is the one that's maybe I'm still scared about the most. I hope they really do drop the health threshold quite a bit and don't give all the allies a shield. That would be really awful. Entangling, of course, just needs audio and visual clarity, and it's going to be a lot better. All in all, and then the Keystone affixes, of course, getting ramped up in the later key levels is such a great quality of life for new players and players who just want to like chill and experience the dungeons. So all in all, great changes from Blizzard. Clearly they are listening to the community and our feedback, so keep giving it to them. Keep telling Blizzard what is going on. Please, guys, let them know that you are frustrated with something that's going on. Let them know that you want things to change, because they are making those changes possible, and it's going to make our lives better in this game. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait for Season 2. It's going to be so good. Remember, guys, May 2nd is when the new season drops. May 2nd. It's right around the corner. Way sooner than anybody could have predicted. So get all your stuff done right now for Season 1 and get ready for Season 2. It's going to be a blast. Let me know what you guys think about these updated affix changes. Do you think that Blizzard is going in the right direction with these affixes still? Do you hate them altogether? Please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much again for watching. I love you all. I will see you in the next one.